Good morning, y'all. It is currently May 29th, 2026, 1:06 p.m., May 29th, 2026, and I'd like to tell you the story about the dream that I had this morning. Obligatory, sorry, it's been a while. Gotta get that out of the way. There was one dream that I recorded since... Well, I recorded it in my journal since the last video I uploaded, but it was pretty sexually explicit, and I just felt like it was too much, and I didn't really want to talk about that dream. So I didn't, and I haven't recorded any dreams in my journal since then, up till today. I have had a few lucid dreams since then, though, but I can't really remember them now. I did have a lucid dream this morning. It did eventually turn lucid, and I might have already said this, but my dream recall is kind of shit still, so sorry if I'm rambly today. I'm kind of not in the best mental space today, but I've been listening to a lot of Dr. John Deloney lately, and I've been trying to get my shit together. So today is day one, and I'm trying to get back into dream journaling. I want to do it even when I don't want to do it, if that makes sense. So, let's try to get through this together. Also, I apologize about my voice and if I'm sniffling a lot or if I sneeze. My allergies are not being very kind to me today. And I'm sorry that my hair looks like shit. I haven't showered in 4 or 5 days. Okay. Anyway. The first thing that I remember is I am at work and I'm running a press. If you have been following along with my channel, then you might know that I don't run a press anymore at where I work, but I was running a press in my dream this morning. And I'm on press 23. That is a rubber press. I don't remember specifically what part I was doing, but I don't think it was a real part anyway. I couldn't really describe it if I tried. I think it was something that my brain just made up. Eventually, it comes to the end of the shift, and this girl, Erin, comes to take over for my shift. And long story short, I've developed a crush on this girl. And don't worry, nothing explicit happens in the dream. I just feel like I have to give some kind of background to my feelings that I was having in this dream. She's not new per se. She's been at the company for a while, but she was on third shift. She used to be on third shift. She just recently came to our shift, so now she's on our shift. But in this dream, she is still on third shift. So she comes to relieve me from my press, because it's shift change from second to third. And she has a trainee with her. She's training somebody new. And, yeah, like I said, it's kind of irrelevant, honestly, but I have developed some, feelings for this person. So maybe that's why I was dreaming of her. I don't know. But, yeah, I leave the press when they show up to go to the office. I can't remember what I was going to the office for. Maybe it was to turn in my paperwork or something. I don't remember. I just remember when I went to the office, the production manager, the guy who kind of runs the building almost, was in there. And he offered for me to sign a bid for a new part that we're going to be starting. And it's a specialty part, and it's going to have a lot of overtime, and I would have to get trained on it. And he was presenting it as an opportunity for me to make more money because it would have more overtime, but it would have taken a lot of work because it was a hard part to run. And he was you're the guy, you know what I'm saying? He was acting like he was specifically asking me first before offering it to anybody else. And I was like, you know what, I'll think about it, because this is all in the dream, by the way, obviously. Like, this part is not a real thing. Yeah, I was like, I'll think about it. I mean, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work, but I'll do it if it means more money. And he's like, yeah, just think about it, pretty much, is how that conversation went. And I leave the office, I go back to my press to grab all my shit. And when Erin and her trainee first showed up to the press, we were, like, talking about stuff. I can't remember what we were talking about specifically, but we kind of had, like, a back and forth conversation. And when I went back to get my shit, I was, like, gathering up all my shit, and I was telling them to have a good night, and they didn't respond. And then I was like, and then I, like, finished up grabbing my stuff, and I was, like, walking away, and I was like, y'all have a good night. And they just ignored me again. I don't know if they actually ignored me, but it felt like they ignored me. And yeah, that kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, okay, whatever. You don't have to talk to me. It's whatever. So I'm walking away, and I'm, like, holding my shit in my arms. I don't even remember specifically what I had. I think it was, like, a water bottle, maybe my tool bag. But yeah, I was just, like, holding it in my arms. And I think I've, like, conditioned my brain, because of all the school dreams that I've had, where I'm carrying all my books in my arms, to, like, trigger lucidity, because this is the point where I realize that I'm in a dream. And I'm, like, I might have been walking to my locker or something. I don't remember where I was walking exactly. I was in a different room, but I was still carrying all my shit. And then I just suddenly realized, I'm like, I think I'm in it. This is a dream right now. And I've just been so, like, I don't want to say depressed, but, like, waiting for my trailer to be ready has really been fucking with my mental state. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, okay? This is, like, a whole side tangent, different story about my trailer. It's almost done, but it's not almost done at the same time. They've been really working on it the last few days. So, like, I've been getting really excited about it, seeing them up there working on it. But I also know that it's still going to be a while. So, yeah, I was just like, I just did not want to engage with the lucid dream. I just remember being kind of annoyed once I realized that I was dreaming. I didn't feel like trying to engage with the lucid dream. But after, like, a minute or two, I was like, okay, I can't just ignore it. Like, I'm lucid now. Let's do something. So I drop all my shit. That's, like, the third or fourth time now that I have become lucid with my arms full of stuff, and I just drop all my shit on the floor. And I just start walking around, and eventually I make it outside. And once I'm outside, I start getting a little playful, you know? I want to, like, fly a little bit. Like, it's, I would describe it more as, like, low gravity. I, like, start floating around in the air, and I'm, like, doing, like, flips in the air and shit. And I remember at one point I was upside down, and I was, like, pushing on the ground to, like, push me back up into the air, and then I'd, like, float back down, and I'd push myself back up, and it was like an anti-gravity chamber or something. And I just remember seeing my shadow. This was so interesting to me. I saw my shadow of myself, like, flipped upside down, and I was, like, pushing on the ground, and I could see my legs were bent. My legs were bent at the knee, and I could just see my silhouette of myself in the shadow of, like, pushing myself off the ground, and I just thought that was really fascinating. But eventually I'm done doing that, and I come across a staircase, and where I'm at in the dream is, like, an actual place at my work. It's grass outside my work, and the staircase is a real thing down to the parking where I park my car. But in this dream, the staircase is, like, way wider than it is in real life, and it's, like, a lot longer down in real life. Like, it was almost endless. Like, it was so big, this staircase. And there was just pockets of people sitting and just hanging out on this staircase. And, so yeah, I'm walking on the staircase now, and I suddenly think to myself to pull my dick out. Wouldn't be a lucid dream if I didn't think about pulling out my dick. And I'm like, no, don't do that. That never goes well in a lucid dream. And then I just, like, get this voice in my head. Like, it was like a, those, like, bro YouTubers, like, alpha male YouTubers, like Andrew Tate or whatever. I got a voice like that in my head. It's like, be a man, pull your dick out. Like, it's your lucid dream, you could do whatever you want. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. So I pull my dick out, and nothing really happened. Like, this is coming up on the end of the dream, and like I said, my dream recall is still kind of shit. So, like, this is just stuff that I remember. There was a lot more to it. But it's coming up to the end of the dream, and things start, like, getting dark. And this next part might have been, like, a liminal dream. Like, I might have slipped out of the dream and slipped back into a dream before fully waking up. But I just remember playing Skyrim. I was in a room. It was a dark room, only lit by the TV. And I was playing Skyrim. And I think I was talking to my dad. And he was telling me about some missions that he was playing in the game, and he was showing me the missions, and they had, like, attractive women, like, with, like, big tits, like, those fucking sexy women mods in Skyrim. That's kind of what it reminded me of. And he was, like, going through these missions and telling me about them, and they were, like, battles. Like, each mission was a battle against an army, and each army was themed around a different culture. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one of them was, like, Japanese samurais and shit. And yeah, that's the last thing that I remember before I woke up. It was around 3 o'clock is when I tried to go to sleep last night, between 2:30, 3 o'clock. But my allergies were so bad yesterday that by the time I got home, my nose was literally stuffed. Like, I could not breathe through my nose when I was laying on the couch. And that made it hard for me to fall asleep. And I ate a whole box of mac and cheese, and I ate, like, half of a frozen pizza. I was ravenous when I got home from work yesterday. I don't know why. Yesterday kind of sucked, honestly. I got busy towards the end of the night, and my allergies were kicking my ass. I was sneezing a lot. Like, I've had worse. It wasn't horrible, but it was bad. But it wasn't horrible. I've definitely had a lot worse allergies. But anyway, I was really hungry when I got home, so I ate a box of mac and cheese and, like, half of a frozen pizza. And I was listening to, like, YouTube videos as I was falling asleep. And I can't remember when I first woke up. Actually, yeah, I do. I think it was around, like, 7 or 8. And then I fell back asleep. And then when I fell back asleep, I fell asleep into this dream. And after I woke up from this dream, I checked the clock, and it was, like, almost noon. I was like, oh, shit, I can't believe I fucking slept in so much. It's almost noon. And I slept on the couch. I don't know if I probably mentioned that already. And yeah, that's about it. That brings my dream recall score to 1. And my monthly dream recall score for May up to 2. Because there was that one dream that was in, like, early May that I wrote down that I didn't talk about. We'll see. I might save that for, like, I was gonna do a cleanup video of, like, all the dreams that I've wrote in that journal that I haven't made a video for. But as I was reading through that, like, some of that shit is pretty embarrassing. I don't know. Like, there's a reason that I didn't make videos talking about those dreams. So, you might get an hour to 2 hour long video in your sub box. in the next month or so after I move into my trailer. We'll see how I feel. I don't know. Shit's pretty embarrassing. But anyway, I think that's about all. Let me know down in the comments if you had any lucid, or not lucid, but any interesting dreams lately. I would definitely be interested in reading that. And yeah, I guess that's about all. Good night and sweet dreams.